In these videos, two students go to an abandoned psychiatric hospital, documenting their adventures with a handheld camera. The young man and woman who made these recordings went missing, and the footage they shot was found on the hospital grounds after their disappearance. Since the videos appeared online, there have been many rumors about the fate of these two. In this video, we will try to find out who these people were and what happened to them, in fact. The State School and Hospital. Penhurst was opened back in 1908 and was intended to house people with mental and physical disabilities. The facility, designed to accommodate no more than 500 patients, was overcrowded from the very beginning. The number of admissions far exceeded the number of discharges, and by 1955, more than 3,500 patients were being held there. What was originally considered a model institution quickly turned into a filthy and brutal place. Terrible things happened within the walls of the asylum, things that cannot be described in detail on YouTube for moral and ethical reasons. Abuse of patients, psychological and physical violence, unsanitary conditions. All of this ultimately led to the institution being closed in 1987. Over the entire period of its operation, about 10,500 patients passed through the walls of Penhurst. About half of them died in the institution itself, many due to poor living conditions. After its closure, the hospital became a focus of attention for ghost hunters, so it would be logical for someone to want to explore the place and record their impressions on camera. So, the video starts at 3:27 p.m. on May 4th, 2008. The person holding the camera turns it toward himself and we can see his face. Penhurst, the guy says, naming the place where he is. Off camera you can also hear a girl's voice indicating that he has a companion. These are the first of the clues that will appear as the footage progresses. Clues that will later help us understand who these people were and what might have happened to them. The students spend some time exploring various rooms, which are filled with junk, as you would expect from a long abandoned site. Then the guy goes outside, where everything is overgrown with thick vegetation. However, he doesn't stay outside for long and returns to the building. Throughout the video, the two of them find moments to goof around a little. The next shot starts outside, and we see a ramp leading into an underground room. Then the guy approaches a hospital gurney, which was once used to transport patients. The guy and the girl decide to go down and find themselves in a sort of tunnel. Ooh, it's scary here. Since they didn't have flashlights with them, they used the flash from the camera to light up the tunnel and see who or what is hiding in the pitch darkness. About. My god, try this. Again, oh my god. Somewhat frightened, they decide to go back. Wait. Let's go. This is a toaster. Is this a toaster? Yes? Threes. Here's another clue. The guy's hoodie says Westchester University. It's possible that the young man and his friend are students at this institution. The city of Westchester is just over half an hour's drive from Penhurst. Actually, no, I really think it's just a large television screen. I really have no idea what that thing is. At some point, They go up to the second floor where they find an old wheelchair. For them, it's just another reason to goof around. That's where the first video ends. The time on the camera is 15:47. By this point, they've been exploring the area for 20 minutes already. It starts at the same place where the previous one ended and is a continuation of it. The students are still exploring the corridors of the upper floor. Then they end up outside and move into another building. In this shot, you can see a sign indicating that this building is suitable for use as a shelter from radioactive fallout. These two continue wandering through empty rooms filled with all sorts of junk and trash. At some point, the guy says the girl's name. Another clue, her name is Jess. The guy decides to tease his friend by saying her full name in a demonic voice. Then the couple steps out into an open area, and we see that vegetation has taken over the entire grounds of the asylum. What? There's a rug just sitting there in shock. The students move on to another building, where you can see a sort of enclosed veranda with sofas and armchairs. This must be the lounge. Inside, everything looks pretty much the same. Empty rooms with peeling walls and rotting furniture. In this segment, they enter the next building and go up the stairs, after which the video ends. That was the last frame, which lasts less than a second. It shows a children's slide. Then we see a black screen and hear a bit of static noise for a few seconds. At the very end, camera indicators appear, battery level, the time, 8 p.m. and the date, May 5th, 2008. The students began their adventure in Penhurst at 3 p.m. on May 4th. According to the information provided, no one ever saw the guy and the girl again, and what happened to them is shrouded in mystery. However, the story doesn't end there. When Penhurst closed, it remained abandoned for many years. In 2010, the facility was reopened as a haunted house. A lot of work went into cleaning up the buildings to turn them into a tourist attraction. It was necessary to clean not only the building but also the tunnels. Amid all the dirt and debris inside one of the tunnels, the staff discovered something strange. Next, images of a broken camera and explanations about it are shown. The camera was badly damaged, but the memory card remained intact. You will see the images from this camera in the order in which they were taken. If you are the owner or have any information about these photographs, please contact the Penhurst Preservation Alliance. Then, all the images taken with this camera are shown as a slideshow. A total of 41 photographs. When viewing these shots, it becomes clear that they were taken by Jessica on the grounds of Penhurst. She can be seen in one of the photographs. From this, it can be concluded that the broken camera found in the tunnel belongs to Jessica. It can be noticed that throughout the video, she is taking pictures with her camera. Remember that moment when Jessica was photographing the unlit tunnel? Here are those shots. Let's try to figure out who these two were and what might have happened to them. The video annotations state that the people in the footage are students. We get additional information as we watch the material they filmed. We know that the girl's name is Jessica, and her friend, judging by his hoodie, studies at Westchester University, which is not far from Penhurst. We also know the date when the couple disappeared, May 4th, 2008. Armed with this information, we do a quick search on the internet. Strangely enough, there are absolutely no records online about missing students from Westchester in May 2008. Yes, 2008 was 15 years ago. However, online news was already relevant back then. Moreover, most newspapers have digitized their archives by now. So, it would be reasonable to expect that we could find something about this case. And yet, it seems that there is no official information about the disappearance of these students. What could this mean? Was all information about this case removed from the internet? Or was this story simply made up? The guy in the video claims that they are in Penhurst. A detailed study of the footage and analysis of satellite images confirmed that the videos were indeed filmed on the grounds of Penhurst, as were the photos from the recovered memory card. However, there is one problem with the photos. It is claimed that they were taken in the same order in which they are presented, but in reality, this is not the case. According to this chronology, the students first approached the hospital, followed by a series of photos of the interior rooms and the grounds. The last two shots were taken in the tunnel. The sequence of the photos leads us to believe that after exploring the buildings, the guy and the girl went down into the tunnel, where their adventure ended. It was here that the memory card was found, and this particular tunnel became the final refuge for the missing students. However, this fact contradicts the video recordings. In them, you can see that the students safely leave the tunnel and continue exploring the building. Now, regarding the sequence of the photographs. Since we do not have the originals of these photos, we cannot access their metadata, and as a result, there is no information about when and at what time they were taken. However, if we match the photo of the tunnel with the moment in the video recording when this shot was taken, we can determine the time the photo was taken. It turns out that the last photo was taken at 15:34. In the same way, we find out when the wheelchair was photographed, at 15:43, that is, 9 minutes after the tunnel. It follows that the photo of the wheelchair should come after the photo of the tunnel. All this indicates that the presented sequence of photographs does not correspond to reality, and the story about the found memory card is fabricated, just like the story with the video recordings. All three videos were uploaded to the Random Video Circus channel, which contains many other videos. In some of them, there is a person who looks remarkably like the missing guy from Penhurst. The channel also has a link to the author's Facebook page. His name is Matthew Armentrout. He studied at Westchester University. Thus it turns out that the guy in the footage from Pennhurst is Matthew Armentrout. And as you've already realized, he never disappeared and continues to upload videos to his channel. This whole story about Pennhurst was invented by this person, and as source material, he used photos and videos that he and his girlfriend once took during an amateur trip to an abandoned psychiatric hospital. Perhaps the author was inspired to create this story by the popularity of horror films in the found footage genre, such as The Blair Witch Project, Paranormal Activity, Grave Encounters, Evil, and others. Unlike the story about the missing students, Pennhurst itself is a completely real place, filled with pain and suffering. I'm going to make a video about this institution in which I'll talk about what life was like there and the terrible things that happened within the walls of the infamous asylum.